Hey guys, we're at Boardroom Mastermind in Tampa, Florida, and I'm here with one of my guys, Matt Porcaro, and he is from New York, and he does something, we've known each other for a few years now, and he does something that not many people are aware of, and he's like the leading expert in it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you focus on?
Yeah, so my name is Matt Porcaro, and I specialize in 203K loans. I'm the 203K guy, and what that really means is it's a FHA loan. It's a loan that allows you to purchase a property and wrap the renovation cost into the mortgage, kind of similar if anyone's into investing, almost kind of like hard money. It's an owner-occupant loan, and what it also allows you to do is it allows you to buy a multifamily property. So what I found was when I got started in real estate investing, I was able to use this loan and create 6 figures of equity very quickly with it because I'm using the bank's money to to build the equity, but then most importantly, the cool thing about it is it only requires 3.5% down.
Nice.
So when you compare it to anything else that's out there, when you turn a very low down payment into a ton of equity, that's where you start to build and get off the ground very quickly. I was based in New York, so New York's a very high cost of living area, but I was able to purchase a duplex property, so a 2-family property.
Smart.
Was able to live in one unit, rent out the other, live for free. Only had to pay $9,500 down. That's all I put down out of pocket.
Nice.
Was all into the property for $350,000. So all in, $350. It reappraised for $480. Built $150,000 in equity, $130,000 in equity in just 6 months, and then lived for free. And then I immediately moved out and cash flowed that property. Still to this day, $2,000 a month, all off of $9,500.
And then so after, do you have to live in it for like a year, and then can you do it again on another property?
Yeah. So a lot of stuff's changed recently, where FHA, you're only allowed to have one under your name, right? But Fannie Mae entered the mix November 18th of last year. And now Fannie Mae, it used to be FHA was the only loan that allowed you to buy, low down payment and also do a renovation loan and everything like that. And also do it with multifamily properties. So they allowed like 3.5% down up to 4 units, right? Conventional didn't allow that. Conventional, if you wanted to buy a 4-family, you could still do it, but it was 25, 30% down. Fannie Mae entered the mix last year. Now they have the same basically version of the product. It's just a little different, but really it's the exact same thing. You have to put 5% down instead of 3.5. But to answer your question, now FHA, it was always kind of tough to go repeat the process.
Yeah.
You'd have to refinance out of the FHA, have another reason why you're moving to the next place, have the previous rent agreement in the previous house, that's taken care of because your debt to income ratio, all that stuff. Now Fannie Mae doesn't have very staunch requirements. It's basically considered a conventional loan. So you can do this now, buy a quadplex, build the equity into it, pull your money right back out, go as long as you're willing to move into the next property, go and repeat the process, and Fannie Mae lets you have up to 11 of these things.
Oh wow.
So you could just keep doing that until the cows come home.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So I know I see you talking about it, teaching people, and you helped a lot of people do these loans. And so as your target avatar per se, someone who's just looking to get their first house, or investors looking to do the smart route and buying those duplexes, triplexes, quads, and helping them grow like a real estate portfolio? Yeah,
so the people that typically work with me, right, and the people that I've found are people that were just like me, right? They want to get into real estate investing. They see the benefits of real estate investing. But they're also, they're working a W-2. They're trying to look for options to get into it. They're looking for ways to supplement their income. They're smart about money, and they just know that going out and buying a move-in ready house at top dollar is not a good money move, right? You're going to go and be, house poor from day one. So usually they're people that are looking to get into real estate investing because this is just a vehicle where if you don't really own a home yet, or you have the ability to go move into another home, this is an avenue where you're basically making your house an investment property.
Yeah.
Instead of your house being, we've all heard, what Robert Kiyosaki says, right? Yeah. Your own house is a liability, but additional houses are assets. This is a way to make your actual house a true asset that's going to make you more money, via cash flow through house hacking if you buy a multifamily, or if you just want to build a ton of equity, take that equity out. You can 10x your money very quickly using the bank's money. Take that money. Now you started with 20 grand. Now you have access to 200 grand, and you can obviously do a lot more moves a lot faster with 200 grand as opposed to 20.
Anytime you can use leverage, You double up your money quicker, and it's just a faster way to grow.
100%. It's the
This is a
burst
great way to get
strategy.
started.
Yeah,
for sure. And so obviously you've been at boardroom as like me for like several years, and I've seen you grow your business. Like, what are your goals this year for either that business or other things you're looking to do for this year? Like, what's your goals for 2024?
Yeah, man. So the big thing I think I realized with going into this 203K world and this renovation loan world is the reason why it took off, I think, is because I'm the only guy talking about it. Like, I remember when I first did it, I was trying to get into real estate investing for like, I call it like about 4 years. I was going to like different like RIA groups and like took wholesaling courses and like I did all the direct mail and door knocking and like, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was, I was just getting advice from the wrong people, but I just couldn't crack it. Like, I could not wholesale a deal. I had like one that was like right on the hook. That was the closest I ever got. So I really had a passion for wanting to get into real estate investing, but I couldn't find the way in for my situation, right? Someone that had a little bit of money, but like not, you know, not a lot of like options, right?
When you were going through all those courses and things like that,
Yeah.
do you think you took enough action when you got started? Like, were you doing everything they told you? Because a lot of times I talk to people and they're in those courses and they'll go to the meetups, but they're not taking enough action. And I know the first time you came in here, you had a problem and you took immediate action. You took massive action and you solved your problem. You found yourself your own house and you did everything you were being told. But sometimes, I don't know if it was maybe being in this room where everybody was like pouring into you, that made you take enough action, because I think it's all about massive action. And so I think, I know you're an action taker, but maybe before there wasn't like, you got some advice and you were in a course and it's not really true accountability. It's like you bought a course, but are they holding you accountable? Is it like a coach, a mentor?
That is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So I made a post on Bigger Pockets or something recently, and people are like, what's the biggest thing you wish you knew when you were getting into real estate investing? And I said, it's not what I wish I knew, but I wish the gurus and all the guys that sold their courses and stuff out there were like actually honest about what it takes. Because like you said, like, was I really putting in the work? No. And when I saw like how much output you really need to do, I think the problem with it is that we live in an instant gratification world, obviously. Yeah. And people are just used to, like, people go try wholesaling for a month and they're like, it doesn't work. Yeah. It's like, no, it's not that it doesn't work. You just are, you're expecting something to come to fruition way faster. Like, I tell people all the time, like, if you want to be good at golf, right? You've never golfed in your life. You go out and start practicing golf every day for a month. Do you expect to be on the PGA Tour in a month? Like, do you expect to even be decent in a month? No, nobody expects that. Real estate investing is a skill just like anything else. And the problem is that these gurus and stuff like portray it as like, oh, just use my software and you're gonna find deals overnight. That's not the way it works. But to answer your question about the 2024 goals, because it's a great point of what you said, but like with the 2024 goal, like, it took me 4 years to find out about 203K loans. Nobody was talking about them. The little that was out there is like, they kind of are a little bit of like a taboo subject because they've always been handled the wrong way for years and years. It's been around since like the 70s, I think. You know, it's an FHA government-backed program. But it's I call it real estate investing's best kept secret, or real estate's best kept secret, because nobody really wanted to go through the motions of understanding it. So what happened is when I learned it and did it, and I finished my deal, and I built $150,000 in equity, and just added $9,500, and I was trying and failing at real estate investing for years and years and years, and I found that this worked. I remember like literally sitting in my duplex, being done, getting the final inspection on the property, getting my last bit of money back, and like smelling the paint on the walls, seeing the floor, and just looking around being like, saying to myself, like, how the hell do not more people know about this? Why did it take me so long to figure this out? So my goal for 2024 is obviously, like you said, like my avatar, like who are the people that work with me the most and stuff like that. Up until now have been really like investor-minded people and stuff like that. But what we're seeing, and I partnered with recently, is like a mortgage company that does these en masse, and they're very good at them. So my goal is to just now make it a household name with all real estate agents, all lenders across the country, because going into this market cycle and the way the market looks right now, I mean, this is actually the only option some people have. You have millennials now that don't have, you know, the down payment of $100,000+ plus another, you see what construction costs are, another $200,000, $300,000 to renovate an entire house. They just don't have it. So this is an option where people can get into home ownership, get the house of their dreams of what they want, build it out with nothing out of pocket besides their down payment, and also build some equity and net worth in the process. It's like, it's a win-win-win. It's just we need the buy-in from the agents. So I'm gonna be pushing a lot more to like make it a household name, which in turn will just help me more in my platform and my brand.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. And you're doing that with like social media or other types of marketing, or?
I built my whole platform on social media, and you know, my whole business was built on social media, right? The 203K way, like that's my business, and you know, I've been able to connect with so many people through that. But it's been very faced on like that one directional thing. So, you know, my plan is to probably start pivoting a little more and start like going to like the open market and stuff like that. But kind of by what you're saying, like social media, like that's everything now. Yeah. And you know, influencer marketing and stuff like that is really the way you get your word out these days, right? Being on podcasts, having conversations like this, like, you know, other guys in boardroom, I'll go on their podcast, they'll come on my podcast. So what I'm doing now is instead of focusing on only investor podcasts and only investor events, I'm going to like real estate agent events, lender events, you know, because they have the same type of, you know, things, masterminds for real estate agents, you know, podcasts for real estate agents. So I want to go on these podcasts and start talking about the 203K in the right light, and also educate these people on like, listen, it's not as bad as you've been told for all these years. It's actually quite easy, and at the end of the day, actually going to make you look like a rock star when you know, tell your client that they have to pay less out of pocket than they thought, and they're going to build 6 figures of equity on the back end. And
for sellers who probably maybe been sitting on the market for a long time, and because they need repairs and they don't have the money to do the repairs, and you're finding somebody who can actually get a loan for those repairs.
Right.
So it opens your portal from just like not cash buyers, but someone who actually can get financing.
And what we're finding too,
with low money down.
Yeah, what we're finding too is like obviously cash buyers are always going to try to buy at a deeper discount.
Yeah.
But owner occupant, they're willing to overpay. They're willing to, you know, you see like me and my wife before boardroom, like you talked about when I first joined, and I found my house using the exact same strategy. Yeah. You know, like cash buyers, they're coming in low. A homeowner occupant, like they're going to spend the extra money because they want to, you know,
they're going to live in it. They don't care.
They're going to live in it. So it's like another avenue where you can pitch to these listing agents like, hey, listen, like I know you're just getting cash offers right now for 20% under what you have asking for. If you're willing to do it, and let's be honest, like these days, like cash isn't always cash, and like cash still takes a long time to close in a lot of cases. It still takes 30 days, 45 days, you see it happening sometimes. There's always some back-end investor that's still, underwriting the deal. Yeah. We're closing these 203K loans in like 30 days. So It's the exact same thing. It's just, they just have to be open to it, and even actually, what's sad is like a lot of them don't even know it exists. Yeah.
I never heard of it until we met.
Right.
I talk a lot about how masterminds coaching has helped me a lot. Obviously, you've been in here for a long time. Like, what has this group done for you, or like, why do you continue to join? Come to these events, and like, what's it mean to you, and what has it done for your business?
I think, like you said, right, the accountability, because like it's one thing, if information was the issue, we'd all be geniuses, and like you can go on YouTube, right? You want to start an e-com business and sell freaking T-shirts online. Wow. I'm sure there's a YouTube channel you can go on and watch every single video and learn how to create a successful e-commerce business in like a day, right? The information's there, but people don't execute on it, right? Our problem right now is not information. We have information overload. It's actually become a deterrent, right? It's analysis paralysis now. Now it's like now you go down the YouTube rabbit hole, YouTube does what it does, which is constantly recommend more other things, and you go deep down this rabbit hole. Information's not the problem, right? What the problem is, is the accountability, the networking, the surrounding yourself with people that are doing it as well. Yeah. Because you could sit in your basement and watch YouTube videos on how to invest in real estate, but like at the end of the day, YouTube's a one direction information. You can leave a comment and pray to the Lord that like the guy that actually made the video is going to reply to you, and even if he does reply to you, you're probably going to have another question after the reply. Yeah. Whereas you have a place here, if I have a question, like you're in self-storage. We just talked about, I know a guy that's interested in self-storage. Boom, like problem solved. It took 1 second in a conversation. That's the value in these things. You have the feedback and the accountability, obviously.
Yeah, I love being in these rooms and coming back again and again and again, because you learn so much, and there's like, sometimes it's just rehearing it again and being like, oh shit, I didn't implement that last time, or I forgot to do that, or a reminder of like the simplest thing that's like, that's working in your business or this guy's business.
Right.
And it's like, oh man, I need to implement that into my business because it does work.
Yeah.
And it's proven concept. And so like the more you can be in groups and coaching
Yep.
is the better. I'm in several different masterminds and they all have a lot of great value. And so I would always continue to go to these events, and I love connecting with guys like yourself.
Yeah.
Let people know how they can get a hold of you if they're looking to buy their own home and get started
Sure.
investing.
Yeah.
And do a 203K loan.
Yeah, so the 203K way, like on all platforms, Instagram is really where to find me the most. I have a Facebook group at the 203K way on Facebook. You can just look up the 203K way everywhere, YouTube, everything like that. Again, what I specialize in is really just giving people all the information, as I said, like that's out there. Like I don't hold anything back. I take pride in, someone said one day, he's actually a buddy of mine, he's got his own like kind of, mastermind group and stuff, and he made a great point, and he said, if the guru that you're following or whatever, if you can't make money with what he's putting out for free, or like be success with what he's putting out for free, then whatever he sells is BS, right? And it's kind of like I took pride on like just giving everything I know out there. And I have my private clients, I have my own mastermind group, that people that I like hold their hand and walk them through the process, because it is nuanced. Yeah. And I tell people like, listen, whether you work with me or don't work with me, it doesn't change it much for me. I just want to know that the information's out there and you want it. The people that I work with are people that are like, I get it, I like it, I just want the accountability. I want the feedback loop. I want to know that if I go and do something, that like you could look over my shoulder and make sure I do it right. So again, whatever path you take, it's up to you, but that's again the benefit of coaching and masterminds and stuff like that is like, if you are the type of person that needs that extra help, good. But if you are that type of person that you're like, I'm just gonna burn the boats and go for it, that's it too. But
it works both ways. Like I know another guy who gives out everything online on YouTube for free. And then his course, he teaches the same exact stuff, but it's just the accountability, the extra hand holding, the questions you can ask, and it's worth the 20K because it gets you there faster, because you have immediate responses, because they hold your hand and walk you to the front of the line, and you don't have to go the trial and error yourself and make sure you watch every
my YouTube video is not going to be able to look at their scope of work and be able to pull out and be like, oh, your electrician's charging you $10,000 more than he should, and saving you like, I've had plenty of calls where I've saved my clients 30 grand, like just by looking at one thing. And it's like, I paid for myself 5 times over just by identifying that one little thing.
100%. So, well, if you're looking to get started in buying your own property, you have a W-2 and you need to get into real estate, this is a good step away to get in. House hacking, getting a property where you have put 3% down and get into your own property, a multi-unit property is what you should do. Then make sure you follow Matt here and make sure you follow us and subscribe. Click the link below, hit the bell, and never miss one of these episodes.